Hello, this Catalyst 360 and Northern Lights Publishing bring you a RoundTableette, 10 or so minutes with a RoundTable Regular. Today's RoundTableette is with creativity guide and artistic alchemist, Sarah Bowden. Hi there.
Hello.
We are here today with Sarah Bowden.
Yeah,
I got it right. Wow.
good.
People didn't realize that I could speak British English. And Sarah is one of our regular Roundtable contributors. She's a media artist.
I'm an artist.
You're
Just
an
an
artist.
artist.
You
Yeah.
she minimizes it because she doesn't want people to know how good she is. You have your own website where you market your own material. And my connection, just so everyone knows, my connection to Sarah, we've known each other for years online. And she is the artist who did the artwork for my book, The Shaman, both the cover and the internal artwork. And if you haven't seen it, it's amazing. So, anyway, Sarah, tell us about yourself, please.
Right. So obviously I'm Sarah and I am an artist. I call myself an artistic alchemist actually, because I see my role as taking my base materials, whatever they are, paint, collage, what, pastel, whatever, and then creating pieces of magic for people to experience joy and awe and wonder. I mainly paint animals and have a very expressive style. People have described my artwork as whimsical as well. And so it's semi-abstract, and really it's, that I try to invest in the power and the magic of color. The color is such a potent force to change your mood and the direction of how you're thinking in life. So that is predominantly the first port of call. And then I use animal wisdom and concepts that I've learned along my own spiritual journey through life, and I incorporate that in the piece of artwork as well. But I'm also a creativity guide. So I work with women primarily, helping them to move through self-sabotage and coping with emotional overwhelm, using the power of their own individual and authentic creativity, as well as storytelling and the wisdom of archetypes. So that's what I do. In a nutshell.
And I remember, thank you. And I remember in one of the roundtable sessions, you shared that you believe strongly that, I hope I get the wording right, you're a channel, that you basically open yourself up, which I think is, to be honest with you, I think a lot of creatives do that. Some of them may not admit it. But when I look at your artwork, which I agree is whimsical and fantastic, when I look at some of the stuff people have created, and they say, "Well, I got that entirely in myself." Yeah, sure you did. Give credit where credit is due. So you're on the roundtable. How come? What made you decide I want to be involved in the roundtable?
Well, first and foremost, I love you and I love your energy. And right from the moment we connected, I felt that this was, a match from the universe, that there was meant to be, and there was something really powerful there. So you creating something I knew would be powerful to bring lots of interesting people into my world. So that was the first port of feeling when you invited me. But I also love the idea, when I don't know, did you go to university? Maybe you didn't, but it doesn't matter even if you didn't. But but when I was at university and we would just sit around talking about things, I miss that. I miss
Yeah.
that opportunity to just sit around and talking about important matters and that are, philosophical and conceptual, and it also made me think about the Moulin Rouge, and how it would have been in the late 1800s, early 1900s of these, Gertrude Stein and Toulouse-Lautrec all sort of sitting
Yeah.
around, really talking about things that are creative
Yeah.
and that exchange of ideas is so important when you're a creative.
Mm,
It's a lonely practice, isn't it? You're a writer, you're sitting behind your computer most of the time, I presume,
yeah.
writing. I'm a painter. I don't do that with other people at the moment. I mean, I can do collaborations. I'm sure you can too, but it's not the same and it's a
Mhm.
different experience. But for the large majority of the time, it's you on your own. You might be channeling, from other sources, but it's you. And so the roundtable made me think it'd be wonderful to be around other people, like-minded people, really, to exchange ideas and see how that influences my work.
Mhm.
Yeah. And already it has.
Good.
So yeah, I remember Sabine saying about being more edgy, that, as artists, it's our duty in some respects to
Yeah.
push boundaries and to have something to say, because in my experience of stories and art, it's the artists, poets, musicians that are the heroes, the ones that solve the problem, and what's going on in America at the moment, your political situation.
Yeah.
It's the
Right.
artists and the creatives and the magicians and the alchemists. It's
Yes.
those who are going to make the changes. It's not the soldiers, warriors, knights. It's the ones who are bringing ritual and deeper understanding and softening of thought processes and exchange of ideas that is from my experience of cultural stories. Yes, there are the classic dragon slayers and so on, but there are also a huge amount of stories where it's an artist or a poet or a musician who brings harmony. I mean, even the Pied Piper, when you think about it.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And most traditional stories, have. I was thinking about the Cinderella story because I do a program called The Heroine's Journey, and the structure of the program actually takes the Cinderella story and the steps of the Cinderella story. Although we don't actually explore that in detail, we explore other stories. But I was thinking about the fact that she eventually gets help from the fairy godmother, her divine support, and she's channeling. And then the fairy godmother invites her to be creative. I haven't got a dress, I haven't got a coach, I haven't got all these things. Well, let's see what we've got around us to turn into what you need. And I think that's what artists and writers and musicians and poets do. They take what they've got, like I said at the beginning, they take what they've got and they make alchemy, and that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, and
Yes.
powerful.
Okay. Uh, one more question.
Yeah.
What do you hope people watching the roundtable and joining, we hope, what do you what is your desire for them? What do you hope they get by attending and taking part in the roundtable?
I think I hope they get inspired, to do what they want to do in life, to be inspired to think about their situation and see, is it working for them, and do they want to change it in some way, And if it is working for them, to celebrate what's going on for them. So, you know, to feel inspired by what's being said, but also perhaps even inspired to come and join us, you know, and have that
Yes.
chat, you know, to make it wealthier and abundant in that respect, you know.
Hmm.
That would be an amazing outcome for anyone who's watching it.
Very good. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to add before we call this, before we bid each other adieu?
Just thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be part of this.
My pleasure. I'm glad to have you involved. I think the world of your artwork, and I mention you just about every chance I get to other authors and anybody else, even musicians. You guys need a backdrop. I know a woman can take care of that for you. So anyway, thank you so much for being our first round tablet.
My pleasure. My pleasure.